I'm Tara Oracle, and this is a continuation of our Thoth Readers course where we oversimplify the Thoth deck so that you can read with it. So we're just getting you to a point where you can read. We're not doing exhaustive 1 hour per card. If you want 30-40 minutes per card, link in the description to a much better video series. But this is just to get you to read. And today we're doing the 6 of discs, which is Moon and Taurus. So this is the Lord of material success. Basically, material success. Money, wealth, possessions, anything that's material success. So it's basically pretty much it. I mean, Moon and Taurus, Taurus being the stable one, Taurus being the hard worker, sort of the reliable one, and Moon is putting your passions within that realm, right? We come up with material success. So obviously, in the Rider-Waite version of this, we have material success sort of represented by giving. And I know there's a lot of leaning on giving within the Rider-Waite readings and within the intensive deck intensives that people do and some of the Rider-Waite derivatives, etc. However, it's just material success, not so much the giving part, but just having that successful. And so easy to remember, just think of a plate full of coins, and it has coins on the outside of the plate, and pretty easy to remember. Maybe it's on a weird table structure or something, but just remember this is material success. So if we have something to where we have worked hard on a project, we've taken trips, worked hard on the project. Maybe we took a trip somewhere, worked hard because we are the magician, the master of our tools. And after the trip, we worked hard, we got everything that we needed, and we have material success. So this is going to be, you know, obviously you got into some money, or we got into maybe a promotion or some accolades at work. Maybe we won a little bit of money in the lottery. Something happened to where we got material success. So again, that could be possessions. That could be something that you've waited to buy because you haven't had the money for a long time. And now you have the money, and now it's time to cash in. But either way, it's material success. So what if we have this upside down, which is kind of hard to recognize because it looks very similar to right side up. What if we had this upside down? Maybe not so much, right? Maybe we worked hard with that, but we did not get the accolades that we deserved. Could be something where somebody else took our accolades, or accolades were taken away from us, or we have spent too much money buying lottery tickets, or maybe we bought a very nice car that we could not afford, and material success is now upside down. So it could be one of those things where you have a negative connotation within this. So, but either way, material success is easy to remember. Again, it's the plate full of, think of it full of coins. That's why it has a lighter tone, and there's coins on the outside of it. So the Lord of material success is going to be the 6 of discs, representing the Rider-Waite by the giving, but not so much. I haven't read anything about pretty much giving, just the material success piece when we're talking about the Thoth deck. And our next card is called Failure, which totally different than the Rider-Waite, right? This is completely different than the Rider-Waite. So we have Taurus again. We have Taurus, that hardworking Taurus, the worker, on time, got into everything. Everything's going great. However, we have Saturn. So Saturn has arrived in Taurus. And you know, Saturn separates, and it has been separated. So it's very interesting card, and very different than the Rider-Waite. I know I had one guy actually comment that, so Thoth is pretty much exactly like the Rider-Waite. And that's, you know, that's not necessarily true on all. Some, yes, but definitely not all. So this is one of those differences where we have failure. The card is called just failure. So it's the Lord of success unfulfilled. Now I want to be really specific with the definition here, because it seems to be a pretty common definition for this no matter where you look. It's basically that you worked hard and you try to get successful and you just weren't able to do it. There's maybe something blocking you. There's, you're sort of lost in the weeds or something like that. So you worked hard and you did not get anything out of it. So it's like unprofitable speculations or unemployment. So it's one of those things where you did a lot of work and you didn't get much for it. And we have that scenario at work all the time, right? Where we do a bunch of extra work and nobody recognizes us, or we contribute more than other teammates, but everyone's treated equally, or something like that. So one of those things where you work hard and you didn't get much out of it. Now, failure is easy to remember because you can see these discs or coins trying to move around in this mess, and it's a mess of leaves, right? So it's just think of it trying to move around in this mess of leaves and you can't go anywhere. You're doing a lot of work and you're not making much movement. So you're trying, maybe you're an insect, you're trying to get over here, but there's too many weeds and you can't move and it's slow going. So it's one of those things that's easy to remember. Number one, dark cards are usually bad in the Thoth deck, as you can tell. Well, some bright cards are bad as well, but for the most part, dark cards, really dark cards, have a different meaning or a sort of a sinister meaning in many of these cards. Not all of them. I'm trying to think of others that, like this one, doesn't have a bad meaning and it's sort of dark. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. This is a dark card. They're trying to move through the weeds. They can't get it, so failure. So again, easy to remember. It's a lot of work and you're not making much progress. So that is very important to know, because if we're in a also important to know that it's different, because if we're in a reading, and again, we had let's see, so we've had a relationship reading here, and the relationship was going well, and they're putting a lot of work into the relationship, but they're not getting much out of it. Well, now you have failure. So a relationship sort of gone bad and you're going to put a lot of work into it and not get much out of it. One of those things to where we value our time, right? We don't want someone wasting our time. So this could be an instance where you're wasting the time. So maybe someone has a reading and they're like, hey, I started a relationship. How do you think it will go? Is this going to be a waste of my time? And you pull this card after the Lovers. So that's definitely a yes. Or even if you just get this, is this relationship a waste of my time? You definitely have a yes as far as relationships are concerned. Maybe we started a new project at work. You are the magician, the master of all your tools. You have that great communication power. You're doing well. Is all the extra work at work going to be a waste of my time? Or should I sort of do my job, but not put forth a lot of extra effort? Because a lot of times that doesn't work out. And we all know people that have experienced that. You work hard at work, you put a lot of extra time in, and nobody recognizes it. So it could be an instance to where we have this as well. Maybe we have the Chariot where we're moving around. So we're trying to find houses. Maybe we're house shopping and everything is going decent, but it could be going better. Should I pause my house shopping for a while and, just sort of wait it out for a little bit until some new prospects come up? It's going to be a yes, because that's going to be a lot of effort in house shopping, because you're traveling, house shopping, and you're wasting your time. So an important discernment between failure and obviously success. So this would be worth it. This would be not worth it. So that is the 7 of discs, or failure. And the next card is the 8 of discs, or prudence. Now this is the Sun in Virgo. Now Virgo is a pretty good sign. Virgo has some negative things about it, maybe a little OCD. But you got a work project, you wouldn't mind having a Virgo on the team. So Prudence, this is the Lord of Prudence, Sun in Virgo. It's about having skill, or having, definitely being good at what you do. So here we have, this pretty much represents the rider weight. We pretty much have skill. He's going to be good at what he does, and he's going to have a lot of people asking about his product maybe. So that's one of the things that we can use this reading for, right? So I want to start this new adventure, and I'm not sure that I have the skills or anything else to do this. So think of the tree as a skill. If you get a tree that's blossoming discs or coins or what have you, and you were able to plant that, you have a tree blossoming money. So it takes a degree of skill to get that tree up and running. So this is about skill. Now, this is very interesting that since this is within the realm of the discs, that we do have this as material matters. So it's skill in material matters. So would it be skill as in relationship? Would I have a lot of relationship skills? Maybe not so much. Maybe we're looking at magician would be a little better to represent that, because we're in the realm of discs, after all, could be material matters, right? Skill and prudence within the material matters. So if we have this, maybe your lover has skills within material matters. In other words, he's good at what he does at work. He's highly respected at work. It's one of those things to where I met someone new and I'm wondering how they're going to work out, no pun intended. And, you know, your new man is highly skilled at what he does. He probably has some money, and he probably has material success as well. So one of those things to where you're probably leaning toward material matters. If you're good at material matters, you're probably going to have success, the 6, right? So we go from the 8 to the 6. So you're probably going to have success. So again, highly skilled in what you do and very good at that type of work. So you meet someone new, you're very good at that type of work. I'm starting a new venture. I'm not sure if I'm skilled enough to get it done. What do you think? I think there's your new venture, and I think you're highly skilled and you're going to be able to get that done. Now, what if you mix that with, let's say, the magician, who is a master of his tools? You could be looking at a double indication of a high degree of skill, a high degree of mastery and a high degree of skill. You're going to be very good at what you do and things like that. So again, skill within or the talents required within material matters is going to be represented by the tree or the 8 of discs. And the next one on the list is the 9, which is gain. Now this is Venus and Virgo. Again, Virgo, pretty good sign, right? I'm a Virgo. Virgo's a pretty good sign. Venus, that love. And remember, Venus connects and Saturn separates. So we have Venus connecting the Virgo skills or what have you, and this is called gain. So this is a rapid material gain. Could be, you know, an inheritance. Could be won a couple of bucks in the lottery. Could be you got a big job promotion. But this is called the Lord of Material Gain. And this is gain, and in most of the definition, it's basically inheritance, riches, a boost of money. So if someone is like, I'm broke and I really would appreciate some cash, and then you pull this, looks like you're going to get it. So maybe I have a new adventure, the Ace of Wands, by the way. Maybe I have a new adventure, and I'm wondering how the new adventure is going to work out. Well, you're going to have a big boom of success. And you see that on social media, for example. You have someone who starts a YouTube channel. There's a guy that feeds turtles on a YouTube channel. And I think they interviewed the guy, and he's paying for his house with just videos. It's like 5-minute videos of him feeding turtles. And he has like a million, millions of views or something. So it's one of those things to where, hey, maybe you have that new adventure. Maybe I'm going to feed turtles in some pond, and I'm going to feed them crickets and watermelon and what have you. And the dude just gets this explosion of views. And you could have that with maybe Twitch, where you're playing a video game and you just happen to have that magnetic personality that people like, and you get a bunch of viewers, you get a big explosion of stuff like that. So it could be one of those things. Maybe you get a new job and people are really impressed with you and they promote you. I've seen people that start a new job and they get a promotion almost right away because people just love him. They adore him. He has that personality. He's got the work ethic. Everybody, appreciates his work. He's making inventions. And we have that at work too, where you see that at work, to where somebody will invent something and it'll save the company, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're like, Jesus. And so they give that person a big bonus or something like that. So again, a rapid, nice increase of gain. So let's say we have the Chariot, and the person says, I'm moving to a new job. What do you think about the job? I think it's going to be a big material gain for you, or something like that. So maybe we're working on peace. You remember the peace card, peace. We're working on making peace with somebody. You could be looking at big material gain from making peace with this particular person, because that happens a lot of times. You work towards making amends with somebody or something like that, and then maybe they really appreciate you, and then maybe they have a job offer that they were thinking about somebody else, but now they want you to have it. You never know. So again, having massive amounts of skill with the magician, having that skill here, or maybe having this skill, could lead to gain. So let's say someone starts a new hobby. And again, the guy feeding the turtles, right? Again, so they're like, hey, I think I should make some videos of feeding some turtles at a pond. What do you think? Well, you have the skill in order to make that happen, or you have the skill in order to get on YouTube and put keywords that put it in everybody's inbox, and could be looking at rapid material gain based upon your high degree of skill, right? High degree of skill. So we could have the Wheel of Fortune, which to me means everyday life, or that turnaround of everyday life. If I keep doing what I'm doing at work, do you think it'll work out? Yes, I think you have some big material gain coming soon. So maybe upside down could be looking at a similar situation that what we had earlier, right? A lot of work for no reward. A lot of work for no reward. If you have rapid material gain upside down, you could be looking at a lot of work for little reward. So almost similar, back to the 7. So it's interesting how these two could work if this one is upside down. Maybe we have a lot of work for no gain. Maybe it's just a complete waste of time or whatever. Anyway, but that is the 9 of discs, otherwise called gain. And last on the list is wealth, the 10. So this is the 10 of discs. It's called wealth. It's Mercury in Virgo. We're still in Virgo, but now we have Mercury, which is communication. And it's very important here to understand. I know there's a lot of these are similar, right? We have success, material gain. We have a big boost in material gain. And now we have wealth. So what's the difference? Well, wealth is getting everything that you want materially, but nothing else, right? There's nothing else. You don't get the whole bundle. Like, I won the lottery, I'm happy, I have all of these beautiful friends and beautiful family. It's just straight wealth, or it's just straight material possessions. It's not, I have everything. And again, well, at least according to the grand Lon Milo Duquette book. So again, we have material gain. Now, again, is this different than the standard Rider-Waite? I'm going to say yes. Standard Rider-Waite, it seems that we represent all of everything. In other words, the whole package. We have wealth, we have happiness, we have friends, we have family, we have love from the pets, and again, we have family. And so we have this looping of everything. In other words, you got everything. And wealth does mean wealth, literally the Lord of wealth, Mercury in Virgo. However, it doesn't mean that you have everything, at least according to most of the references that I've seen. It means that you have the wealth. In other words, you have the money or the material possessions or something like that. But again, you didn't get the explosion, the whole package. You just got one package, which is wealth. So it could be one of those things to where, should I work? I'm the master of my tools. Should I work at this particular job? Well, yeah, you're going to have a lot of money, but there could be bad news. Not really bad news. You got a lot of money. How bad can it be? But it could be maybe you sacrifice some of your health in order to get the wealth. Or maybe, you know what I mean? You don't have all good news with wealth, but you do have wealth. So how bad can it be if you have wealth? Anyway, so you want to work that job. Maybe you work yourself until you get an injury, or maybe you work yourself, but you're just not that satisfied with retirement. A lot of people retire and they're just bored out of their mind. So before I go on, I'm sure that there are other definitions of wealth that say, hey, it is the entire package, but I'm just saying the ones that the references that I have seen means it's not the entire package. Again, I know. Anyway, so that is the discs, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. But before we go, I do want to thank my patrons. And what is patrons, by the way? That is Patreon, where you can support me by giving me a couple of bucks a month. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps pay the bills as far as software is concerned and equipment, etc. So my current patrons are Adam G., Alley Cat, Annie Lemaster, Carmen Gabriello, Carolyn Bouchard, Crystal McGinn, Fatima, Gary Fink, Hot Chocolate, Jessica Mante, Kim Wilson, KSW, La Ami, Richard Zeh, Scott Miller, Shintaro Kuga, Sanai Zamora, and Trina Idaverio. Again, I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to join the patron crowd, please see the link in the description below. And as always, please hit like and subscribe if you like these videos, so I will keep making more.